Good afternoon, and thanks for having us in. We have an update on the SWAT presence in a Sioux Falls neighborhood over the weekend. Sioux Falls police say the suspect was attempting to force his way into a home and threatening somebody with a gun. There are reports of gunshots, which police believe to be the suspect. After identifying the suspect as Tyrone Lee Appleton, a 28-year-old from Sioux Falls, a warrant for his arrest was issued on February 23rd. Saturday night, officers located Appleton and arrested him for aggravated assault and burglary. Also later that evening, SWAT was sent to an apartment on 14th Street and Spring Avenue in an attempt to locate the weapons Appleton used. No one was inside the apartment. Police say they later recovered the weapon used in the alleged assault. There's a new book out about South Dakota's most infamous cold case. It's called Vanished in Vermilion, written by former KELOLAND News reporter Lou Raguse.
There's a lot of stuff in the book that has never been reported anywhere.
Raguse spent 5 years researching law enforcement records and evidence, plus he conducted numerous interviews for the story of two teenage girls who went missing back in 1971. Their disappearance was a mystery for decades. Then a South Dakota cold case unit reopened the investigation and turned one family's life upside down. It's the focus of tonight's Eye on KELOLAND. And comedian Kevin James is coming to Sioux Falls. You may know him for his roles in The King of Queens, Paul Blart Mall Cop, Grown Ups, and many others. James's Irregardless tour will make a stop at the Washington Pavilion on Sunday, September 24th. Tickets go on sale Friday, March 3rd. Turning now to a first look at our midday forecast with meteorologist Adam Rutt. It's going to be fairly smooth sailing with temperatures this week, but we do have some snow before too long, huh?
Yeah, we have a little more to talk about. I know in the winter where we have seen more than enough, to say the least, across much of the area. Yeah, we have a little more, but it's not going to be like what we had last week. I will say that much. We've been dealing with a bit of fog this morning in a couple of areas, not in Aberdeen, however. A bad view, if anything. We got some blue skies up there in Brown County. 34, but it is a windy 34, north wind at 21 miles per hour. Meanwhile, closer to home, we'll head back to Falls Park, where we do have a little bit of that fog in the distance. 35 at the airport with a northwest wind at 16 miles per hour. So we do have some areas of less than ideal visibility. Watertown, 8 miles, 3 miles for Sioux Falls, 1 mile visibility in Ortonville. And you can see those patches between Marshall and Worthington, and then just a little bit west of Spencer toward Lyon and Osceola counties, where we have visibility less than a mile. So you will want to be mindful of this. This fog is going to be slow to get out of here, but it does eventually, and that'll give way to at least a better rest of your afternoon. Northwest winds abound on this Monday. 31 your temperature, Sisseton and Watertown. 33 in Brookings, 37 Chamberlain, 38 for Pierre, but some 40s out there. 44 in Mobridge, 40 Winter, and 41 in Rapid City. There's the wind. Like I said, it's basically out of the northwest. Maybe out of the north in a couple of areas, but still it's a cooler breeze that is creating at least a small bit of a wind chill. Nothing frigid by any stretch of the imagination, but it's still something all the same. Satellite and radar is going to be pretty quiet as we head through the rest of your day. Beyond maybe an isolated rain shower that's going to try and crash the party along I-90 south of Pierre. But we have a better chance for some moisture in the form of snow, and out west, rain and snow as we head toward Tuesday and then into Wednesday. We'll talk about that and the rest of your 7-day forecast, which features a look at the first couple of days of March as well, coming up.
Thank you, Adam. The city of Sioux Falls is hosting 4 major basketball tournaments over the course of 3 weeks. The list includes the NSIC tournament, which wraps up tomorrow night at the Sanford Pentagon, and of course the Summit League Championships, which start Friday at the Premier Center after expanding to 10 teams.
All the additions this year with adding teams, adding a day, and all the fans coming to town, it probably could well be the biggest one. And of course, it depends on who's playing the games, who's against who, and we all know what we're talking about. But that adds even more energy and excitement. So this could be a really, really big week ahead.
We'll tell you what kind of economic impact the tournaments could have on Sioux Falls today on First at 4. The Supreme Court will hear arguments over President Joe Biden's student debt relief plan tomorrow. It's a plan that impacts millions of borrowers who could see their loans wiped away or reduced. Republican-appointed judges have kept the Democratic president's plan from going into effect. It's unclear how the court will respond. The court is dominated 6-3 by conservatives, and the court is hearing challenges by 2 students and by 6 Republican-led states. Dozens of migrants drowned and more were missing after their crowded wooden boat crashed into the rocky reefs off the southern coast of Italy. Officials fear the death toll could surpass 100. At least 80 people were found alive. The migrants, who were said to be mostly from Afghanistan as well as Iran and Pakistan, were making the dangerous voyage from Turkey. The U.S. says China is considering sending weapons to Russia, but warns that doing so will carry consequences. Nicole D'Antonio has details from Capitol Hill.
The U.S. is warning China, don't send weapons to Russia for use in the war in Ukraine.
We don't have evidence of a final decision to do that today. We don't have evidence that there's actually been a transfer. And so all we're trying to emphasize is the importance of not doing that.
President Biden has warned there will be economic consequences if Beijing takes that step.
It would be the same line everyone else would have crossed. In other words, we impose severe sanctions on anyone who has done that.
China insists it remains interested in a peaceful resolution in Ukraine and accuses the U.S. of fueling the fight by sending weapons to Ukraine. The U.S. has supplied billions of dollars worth of weapons to Ukraine. Ukraine is now asking for the U.S. to send F-16 fighter jets as well. The Biden administration says it's not prepared to do that yet, despite support from some Republicans on Capitol Hill.
We need to put everything we have into there. I know the administration says as long as it takes. I think with the right weapons, it shouldn't take so long.
As the war enters its second year, fighting continues in eastern Ukraine. The city of Bakhmut has been decimated, with both sides battling for control. Nicole D'Antonio, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
The United Nations Secretary General announced this morning that the UN has documented hundreds of cases of human rights abuses by Russian forces in Ukraine, including kidnappings, rape, and torture.